All right, good morning, good evening. Mic check, mic check. What is going on, everybody? What is happening? First things first, shout out to everybody that's here. I usually come on at 9:30 Eastern time. I'm coming on a little later today. This is gonna be a shorter episode, just a update on the Sony purchase. Some more news did come out about that if you weren't paying attention to it. Shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to the Hawk. What's happening? Shout out to Grudia Legends. How you doing, Grudia Legends? Always a pleasure. Grudia's in the house. Always a supporter. Innate, what is happening? Innate says the greatness that is Mass Effect. This man hasn't been able to quit since he got started. Oh yeah, I'm playing Mass Effect through and I am playing on PC. But see, here's what you don't know. I dropped the resolution to 1080p. And what you're looking at is AMD's 2.0 super sampling graphics. It's super sampling it up to 4K. So even though my image initial resolution you're looking at is 1080p, it is being super sampled to 4K or 1440p. I'm sorry, I said 4K. I meant 1440p. So, and it's actually a good picture. You're looking at it yourself. That's a good picture. So shout out to AMD. It means that their stuff is getting better. So yeah, Proto is in the house. What's happening? Franco Tech, where have you been? I thought you got thrown in jail. That's what was on Facebook. Gaming Nights in the house. Oh, BGS, how you doing? What's my opinion on the Halo series? The first episode was straight trash. The second episode was much better. So I'm waiting for the episode this week. For me, that is the deal breaker. That's the deal breaking episode for me. That third episode better continue like the second one. The second one was much more story based and character driven, so that was a lot better to watch. So that was easier to watch. So that is my opinion. But what do you think about it? That's the main thing. Says Destiny says what's up to Destiny was happening. PlayStation, Xbox, Ecstasy was happening. Yeah, I'm using Xbox Game Pass. So you know, we're gonna talk a little bit about value because I want to give a big shout out to another YouTuber, which is MBG. If he had a podcast yesterday, and it was 3 hours long, but they did go through and put the timestamps in, and he really does a good job of breaking down what the differences are with the Game Pass model and what Sony's doing with their rebrand. And it's more about, there are people who don't like Sony's methodology of business, which works for them, and they think Sony should change it to be more like Microsoft. So it's like they're not going to do that because it works for them. Okay. I don't know what else to say about it at this point. So, but I thought it was really, really good. So we'll talk about value a little bit. Muhammad says good night. Well, good night there, Muhammad. Hello there, Objective to Be. How you doing? James Williams says good morning. How you doing? How you doing? All right, well, we'll get into it. Got a few things to talk about here. First of all, some basic update on the channel. The channel's growing. We're closing in on 1,700 subs, which is perfect for me. That's way too many. It's, you know, and of course, you know, YouTube, you can sign up to Scrub to get rid of the fake accounts and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, the month of March, we were plus about 22. So that's actually pretty good. That is pretty good. So shout out to all for listening. Hit that like button. What else we have going on? I tried to watch the Grammys yesterday, and I know I'm getting old when I knew nobody nominated. Like, I knew who Questlove, the presenter was. The first presenter was Questlove because I've been following the Roots. I've been a fan of the Roots since the beginning. He's a drummer, and I play drums, so and he has his own drum kit. If you all are interested, Questlove does have a nice little drum kit that's small but powerful. It's good. You get good range on it. So I knew who Justin Bieber was. I think he was nominated. I knew who that BTS was. I knew that, and they got beat. So, but I knew who they were. because my girlfriend has this flip phone. She has this Samsung phone that folds like a dollar bill. It actually folds. I've never seen it. It doesn't flip. It folds. I'm like, geez. I mean, what will they think of next, right? So they got phones that can go underwater, and now they got phones that fold. But I had no idea who these people were. What the hell's a Doja Cat? What is a Doja? That's the way it was spelled, D-O-J-O, then cat. What is that? Okay, it doesn't sing very well. Also, something that was up there, it was just called H.E.R. And it don't sing well either. So I feel bad for you guys at this point. You all are getting exposed to people who can't sing or rap at this point. Again, rappers used to be requested to rhyme. Now the rhymes are being pushed on you. Shout out to KRS-One. That's a great quote from him years ago. Rappers used to be requested to rhyme. Now the rhymes are being pushed on you, and they're trash. Okay, so, but again, shout out to everybody that won the Grammys. Nobody got hit in the face. My quick take on the Will Smith thing, because everybody keeps talking about it, it's not difficult. Will Smith's career is over. Okay, Will Smith's career is over. He is 53 years old, and he'll be 54, I believe, in September. I think Will Smith is I think he's a Libra. And his career ended when he hit Chris Rock. If you don't know this, Netflix and Sony, because Will Smith does work for Sony. The Bad Boy movies are through Sony. Bad Boys 4, or the next Bad Boys movie, it wasn't in production per se, but now it ain't gonna get done. Also, his other projects the Netflix project is being canceled, so, or at least it's being put on hiatus. They are actively trying to get Tyler Perry to produce his show Bel Air, because if the Screen Actors Guild suspends Will Smith can't act. He won't be credentialed to be on sets. They will, just like they would do with you. If you try to go to a movie set and you don't have the credentials, you get arrested on site. And now you have this open threat of by Chris Rock's other brothers. I think he's got like 7 brothers. They have openly threatened to whoop Will Smith's ass. Like, in front of the world, they're doing this. So Will Smith has lost, he's losing his arm, and he's losing his shield, which is the protection. And so he is just going to be down to personal security, which he does have his own his family. Most Hollywood families have their own protection. So but yeah, this is not over with, and he's going to get an ass whooping. That's all I can say. I think he's going to personally get an ass whooping, and they're going to see how it's done. But that's my take on it. His career's over. I hate for it to go out like that, but you don't do what he did. And I don't like what the Oscars is doing either, because they're throwing Chris Rock under the bus, saying that, well, we didn't remove him because of the he didn't want Will Smith removed. That doesn't matter. You still remove him. And it wasn't assault like these men were going around saying. Shout out to all the men that are covering this. Again, I don't know why men are doing that, but the assault is not assault. It was battery. There's a huge difference between assault and battery. Assault is an aggravation to battery. So if I say that I see somebody here in the chat, let's say Proto, I meet Proto, he's here in the chat, shout out to him. I don't like him. I say by 5 o'clock today, I'm going to hit Proto in his mouth. And I go up and I hit him in his mouth at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, Proto has reason to believe that I'm going to do something to him because I openly threatened him. And I'm just using this as an example. I will be charged with assault because my state of mind is already out. Whereas at battery, it's just, I can just walk up and hit you in your face. That's battery. I don't have to say nothing. I don't have to do anything. I just walk up to you. You're sitting there eating your cheeseburger and fries, and I smack you in the face. That is battery. Okay? Now, people are saying that, who are the people that want Chris Rock to press charges? It's people like Jim Carrey, who's a comedian. So he's more talking about it as a comedian, so it's just really messed up. And now you got another actor, Tommy Lee Davidson, I think it was, coming out, and he was in a movie with Jada Pinkett, and he said there was a kissing scene in there, and Will Smith threatened him over that. That's what's been reported. And this is why I said to people, when that happened, all these people started making all these people started making podcasts because they can make money. But here's your truth. The truth wasn't going to completely come out. It was going to take about a week. And now everybody knows what's going on. So his career is over. He has suspended himself from the Academy. They're still going to suspend him in a couple of weeks. And if Screen Actors Guild suspends him, he's done. Like, he will not be able to go on sets. BAFTA don't want him over there. That's the British equivalent of the Oscars. So he's done. Where is he going to go? If he goes to New York, I think Chris Rock is from New York. I think he's either from Queens or Brooklyn. He gonna get his ass whooped in New York, So it's just really the people that were in that room, from even Spielberg, who helped mentor him. Spielberg don't want nothing to do with him anymore. I mean, seriously. I mean, he blew it. He blew it. And you can argue, and I agree with people who say the wife is an extension of the husband, but come on, man. Go to Chris afterwards and say to him, I didn't like what you said. And then when you accept your award, you can say, look, I agree with what he said when he accepted his award, that, he signs up for that. Let's leave the families out of it. I agree with that. I agree with what he said. But yeah, he's gonna get an ass whooping. I hate that for him. If you don't know, Will Smith actually received the very first American Music Award for hip hop. Will Smith was the very first one who received that. It wasn't LL Cool J. It was Will Smith. Everybody thinks it was LL Cool J. No, it wasn't. Will Smith. So yeah, and guys like Ice-T, who are still on television, he didn't go. I mean, it's messed up. I mean, even Ice-T is like, yeah, he's on some BS, and Ice-T, that's an OG. And people are like, well, a response had to be done. People got to understand the way power moves. Power moves with silence, especially in Hollywood. How you get determined on how powerful you are is that if you don't have to get a meeting. Like I said, one of the most powerful men in Hollywood is a black man named Mira Shah Ali. He has won 2 Oscars. He's the one that's going to be playing Blade. He got that part in Blade. He didn't audition. He didn't say, he didn't audition. He didn't go out on a tour saying, we got to get it done. He walked into Kevin Feige's office without a meeting, and Kevin Feige is the most wanted talk to man in Hollywood right now. He did not have a meeting with him, and he just flat said, I got one word for you, Kevin. And Kevin Feige said, what? He said, Blade. Kevin Feige stood up and shook his hand and said, we'll do it. That was it. That's power. That's the way it moves. Eddie Murphy's had that kind of power. I mean, again, Eddie Murphy used to not have to go get a meeting. Will Smith had that power. He ain't got it no more. People gonna look at him like, what the F are you doing here? But that's my opinion on it. I understand, you gotta protect your wife as an extension of you, but come on, you gotta handle that so much differently. And I would have just pulled him to the side, and maybe you go through Denzel and Tyler Perry. Hey, Denzel, gotta talk to you, Chris. And then I would show up and be like, look, with Denzel there, what's up, SIE? I would have said, I didn't appreciate what you said. If you want to come at me, I sign up for it, because I got the crazy looking ears and all that kind of stuff. But I told people this. I tried to tell this dude named Platinum Elite this. You got to wait, because this story is still breaking. But Will Smith is done. He is done. Chris Rock, literally in 16 more months, Chris Rock is 57. He will be able to draw Social Security in like 16 more months or 18 months, because he'll be 59. He's 57. I think he has to be 59 and a half to draw Social Security now. I think he basically went up there and committed battery against an elderly individual. You start getting AARP stuff when you're like 49 or 50. So, but yeah, it's unfortunate for him. I hate that for him. It's just, but he is done. And you got to remember, they used to call white folks, gave Will Smith the nickname Mr. July. That's how much power Will Smith had in Hollywood. How you go from Mr. July to you're not even going to be able to go to the Academy anymore. That's how bad this is for him. So that's my take on it. I'm not getting into him and Jada's relationship. He's a grown man. He decided to stay with her. I wouldn't have, but I'm not him. You got grown men out here crying about Russell Wilson and Ciara. They're mad at Russell Wilson for being with Ciara. I'm telling you right now, and I've said this before, any man that cares about where another man lays his head at night and puts his dick is gay. Period. Who cares? Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have done what Russell Wilson did, but that's him. I don't care. He's a grown ass man, right? If you care about where another man is putting his damn dick, you're gay. Period. But anyway, shout out to people that are here. Shout out to you, V'ger. So what am I talking about today? We're going to talk about the frustrated Halo Infinite gamers. Halo Infinite is a failure. I hate to say that. I'm a big Halo fan. I like the lore and all that stuff, but it's a failure. Ultimately, what value means to you as an individual, I've said this before. I'm glad MBG talked about it. Again, we'll start with that. Nobody has a right to tell you what value is. Nobody. Okay, that is totally up to you, and if whoever you're married and your spouse, whatever. So if you're gonna go on vacation, you may look. If you want to go to the Smoky Mountains, it doesn't matter. You say you and your wife say, let's go to the Smoky Mountains for vacation. It doesn't matter what value. You sign up for all these things. You say Travelocity, Expedia, and let's say Expedia puts something up about, I don't know, the Bahamas. You're not going to care. You're not going to care that you can get a good value trip to the Bahamas because you don't want to go there. So there is no value. You know what I'm saying? So there is no value. So, but MBG, I thought did a real good job talking about the rebranding and how there's just a group of people out there who don't like Sony's business model because I guess they feel like they're being cut out. I've always said if you can't afford the games, then you got bigger problems. Sick Humor, shout out to him. Like he said, you got to get your money up. But at the end of the day, I don't have an issue paying $70 for games. And I'm glad Jim Ryan dealt with the whole day and date thing. So at this point, if you still think Sony's going to do day and date, that's on you at this point, because the president of the PlayStation brand said they're not going to do it. So instead of Halo, well, I think they're going to do 2 seasons of the Halo TV show. And like I said, I did not like that first episode at all. It was so bad. But the second episode was actually better. It was actually better. And I'm thinking, okay, if it stays like this on episode 3, it might be able to get some momentum. But that first episode was so bad. I mean, just when you it's like, oh my God, this is terrible. It doesn't matter. He can divorce Jada tonight. He can divorce her tonight. His career's done. And so it doesn't matter at this point. It's a zero-sum game for him. So his career is over whether he divorces Jada or not. So it's a done deal. It is a done deal. It's unfortunate, like I said, because he literally wrote a song, and then somebody in Hollywood wrote a TV script based on the song, developed it into a TV show called The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then he went on to be an international superstar. I mean, you don't get the nickname Mr. July or whatever. Yeah, he was being called Mr. July. If Will Smith was the guy that you wanted in your movie. So, but how it affects Sony is his movie Concussion, which I thought he should have been nominated for a best Actor award in. That's the first movie I thought he should have been nominated for. Sony's no longer pushing that movie on streaming services. And his next Bad Boys movie, which again, the last Bad Boys movie wasn't bad. It did well. People enjoyed it. Sony is not effing with it anymore. And Sony came out with a statement on, well, it wasn't technically even in development. So they're done with it. They're done. It's messed up. The TV show Bel Air, this comes down to Screen Actors Guild. So if Screen Actors Guild suspends him, then he can't work as a producer anymore. He can't. So that's why they're hoping that if he does get suspended, that Tyler Perry actually takes over the show. That's where that stands. But we won't know anything until around the 18th. But I agree with Jim Carrey when he said that these people are spineless because they let Will Smith stay in there. Okay, they should not have done that. All right, they should have removed him. Oh, they're like, well, they putting everything back on Chris Rock. Chris Rock is the victim here. He's probably in shock. So why are you even listening to him? But at the end, I mean, I understand you listen, but it's kind of like, well, all right. To me, he should have been removed, but you need to understand the Oscar already has your name on it. Because had it not had his name on it, Benedict Cumberbatch would have gotten that Oscar. I don't know if you saw that movie, but man, and that's the guy who plays Doctor Strange. But he's a hell of an actor. That's why it was such a big deal for Kevin Feige to get him to play Doctor Strange. All right, so Chris Rock can talk and walk like a, yeah. I mean, at this point, he can. I mean, at this point, Chris Rock is one of the most powerful. I mean, right now, Chris Rock don't have to get a meeting. All right, he's just gonna walk in and be like, so whatever projects he wants to do, even though he's 57 years old, he will probably be able to get greenlit. I'm hearing it's going to be a remake of Blame It on Rio, which is a 1980s classic comedy that had Michael Caine in it. And I'm thinking that Chris Rock will now be able to take Will Smith's spot, because Will Smith originally was approached for that role. Now it's going to go to Chris Rock. So, you know, just it's crazy. And if Halo survives, maybe next month with season 2 things get better. Possibly. But I already think they had a season 2 ready. Jim Carrey gave a woman, well, that's Sky Jones. That's a hell of a defamation right there, if that's true. So if that's true. I'm not even going to read that out loud because of what happened to Tasha K getting sued by something that calls itself a Cardi B. So who are these people that you all are listening to are just straight up hilarious. But let's move it on. Okay. So what is your definition of value? Right now, Game Pass is, for me, is $10. The only game I'm wanting to play on there is Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So I went ahead and reactivated it because that's what I wanted to play on PC, get the settings of the Legendary settings. And oh boy, I'm playing between 75 and 120 frames per second on this game. So playing at 1080p, I'm using the super sampling. So I'm getting to use all that so I can actually see what it looks like, what AMD super sampling is doing. So they went through court. Okay, well, show the court case then. Just send me an email on the court case. But I'm not going to read that out loud about, because the H word is Tasha K owes Cardi B like $1 gazillion. Like she owes her $350. Okay, she got to pay $350. So and she's in court talking about right now, I ain't got it. Hashtag I ain't got it. So yeah, it's So, like I said, Destiny doesn't matter. So, doesn't matter. So, Will Smith might have already said to Chris Rock, VJ, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you still don't commit battery. Okay, you still don't commit battery. So, So, but yeah. So, but that's all I can say at that point about Will Smith. His career's over. Everybody knows his career's over. He's the only one who don't know it's over, but it's happening to him, and it's messed up. So, um, the bullied kid has to be removed. No, I didn't say that. I said that Will Smith should have been removed. Chris Rock was the victim, and the Oscars security should have. What the Oscar security is to save face. They're trying to blame Chris Rock. I'm not blaming Chris Rock. So I'm not. So, but yeah, no, like I said, the Chris Rock should not. Chris Rock's the one who left. He did the award and he left. But Will Smith's the one that stayed, and the Oscar security is saying, well, Chris Rock wasn't. He's saying he's not a victim. Well, yeah, battery means you're a victim. Why pay for GP when it's like $30? Well, again, because I found value in that. But that's my point there, JP Loco. You may not think it's valuable. Okay. And remember, I already have that on PlayStation. But I didn't purchase it on Game Pass. I'm just playing it through Game Pass. Once my Game Pass subscription runs out at the end of the month, I'll stop playing it. That's why I'm trying to burn through it. I'll be playing it today for about another 2 hours. But yeah. But moving on. So, but that's a good. I'm glad you said that, JP Low, because that brings up the whole value thing. That's what I'm talking about with value. That's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? Is your definition of value is why get it on Game Pass when I can go buy it? But that's what I'm talking about. You can't tell me what value is, and I can't tell you. So that's why I'm glad. Shout out to MBG. He talked about this yesterday. So I agree, Kylo, but he did not do that. And what did I just say? If you weren't listening, what did I say? I said at this point, it doesn't matter. His career is over. Doesn't matter if he leaves. He could leave her tonight and go beat up August, whatever his name is. Okay, it doesn't matter. That's not going to. They're not going to say, "Oh well, because you went out and did that, we're going to put you. We beg you to come back to the academy." That's not going to happen. Yeah, nobody is siding with Will Smith. Well, I take that back. There's women who are siding with him because the women are like, well, we deserve blanket protection for what we've been through. And it's just like, oh, well, I disagree with that as well. You can't go out there and be a trifling ass woman and then expect, protection at 100%. Your wife needs to be protected. WIFE. If you're a woman and you want blanket protection, you need to have a ring on your finger and you need to be out there with your husband, not going out talking about, I'm going out tonight with my girls out. No, you're not. No, you're not. Shout out to the Hawk for the $10. Appreciate you, brother. So I appreciate you. The SIE low-key Returnal is your favorite PS5 game, even though well, again, that's an opinion. And see, you got to remember, Returnal is going to be in that new service, right? I mean, that's Sony announced that. They said Returnal and Death Stranding, which they didn't say which version of Death Stranding, but they said Returnal is going to be in there. Now, will Returnal have the DLC that just came out? Have to wait and see. But again, they're trying to add value by putting and Returnal's a year old. Returnal is a year old. So I understand Returnal going in there. But what I liked is that Jim Ryan specifically said, we not doing day and date. And he told you why. He told you why. So again, because their cost of benefit analysis says that they're not going to be able to make the money they want. Now, what you have is a group of people who say things like, well, they're a $1 billion company and they should take less money to help me out. That's why I said you got to get your money up, because nobody can go. If I'm running a company, Johnny Depp did a movie years ago when he was a drug dealer and he was working for a cartel, and he told the cartel on consignment, I could get you $8 million for what you give me. And he had a list and he moved the weight. And when he came back to the drug dealer with the profit, he said, I made a mistake. I didn't get you $8 million with the list. I got you 12 million. So I made a mistake. So that's it. That was the end of it. All right. So yeah, so it's just, so no company is going to sit up there, be told you can make $100 million if we do this. But if you do this other plan, you're going to make 72 million. No company's going to sign off on 72 million when they can make 100 million. So, I mean, just that is stupid. Okay. I don't know what else to say. So I appreciate you, the Hawk, like I said. So let's see what else we got in here. Let's put this up here because I do want to kind of update you all on Sony's purchase. I mean, just a short update here. Let's see here. Let me. Well, it's embiggened. Shout out to Miss Marvel. Then we'll talk about the cost. The cost to be the balls. Dun, dun, dun. I need to get that sound effect. All right, now this comes from BSO. So this is an actual entertainment. You can contact them or write for them, I guess. Wow. There you go. So, and they got their gossip thing right here. So anyway, let's see here. Now this is about the Sony. If you all are here for the Sony update, this is the latest update because this guy actually had a source tell him more stuff. And this is some of the stuff I have been told. So that's why I put Square Enix in the on my thumbnail, because I believe, and this is just me, I believe the company that they're going to buy is Square Enix. Now, there's a little, I was on the fence. First, I thought it was going to be Kojima, but Kojima's company, I think, is in New York now. It's an American company. He has controlling interest in his company. So, but this guy talks about the acquisition, and it says Microsoft shocked the gaming world, when it announced to buy Activision. But again, for 68 million. Okay, this deal has not gone through yet. Okay. Now, he does say Sony reacted by picking up Destiny and Halo creator Bungie for $3.6 billion. Now, again, the Bungie deal was finished last year, and they wanted to announce it last year, but they didn't get around to it. So, because Sony had bought, so that would have been 6 studios they would have bought, I think, last year. So it says here, should the information the source gave me turn out to be correct, it would definitely be a landmark deal for Sony and the company being purchased. So, what is this company? What would be a landmark deal for Sony? It says the acquisition. Now, here is your update. I put this on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you should. Craig Harris 456 or 654. So it says the acquisition of this company also won't fall under the United States preview in jurisdiction, so they'll get absolutely no say in whether or not these two companies can form as one. So see, they're buying a company. Okay, it says while the company he's been told will be picked up is massive in their own right, it won't be quite as big as the Activision Microsoft partnership, but it would definitely mark an era for two of some of the oldest companies in the game. Now, this could be Sega, because Sega's an old company too. See, so here are the words you need to indicate on. You need to lock in on won't fall under U.S. purview. That means it's a Japanese company more than likely, okay? It's more than likely a Japanese company. So now, it could be, let's throw these names out there. It could be CD Projekt Red. It could be Remedy, but I doubt it, because we're going to get more into it later in the article. And then two of some of the oldest companies in the game. So look at the age of your companies. Says the timing for an expected announcement hasn't been made clear to him, but he's been told it will be sooner than later. I was told they're going to announce it pretty soon as well. We'll have to wait and see. The date doesn't matter, as it will undoubtedly make headlines when it's formally announced. That is for sure. I'm not sure if I like or dislike the way the gaming industry is going. To talk about the consolidation. I don't like the consolidation myself, but that's just my opinion. But I will say it's definitely different and could be much, much better for gamers. So we have to wait and see. Now, that's just his opinion. It says here, for what it's worth, some of the greatest. Okay. All right, man. I want you to really start listening to what I'm saying. Are you ready? Because we know that we know that's the case. I'm sorry. Let me go back up here. I'm sorry. Sony and Microsoft are much more likely to produce quality titles if their name is attached to it. Well, I don't know if that's true for Microsoft, but we'll have to wait and see, right? Because we know that's the case for Sony, but hopefully Microsoft catches up in the first party game. This is why I put out, I got to see some gameplay of Starfield. I mean, I'm getting sick of it. All right. Let's see here. For what it's worth, some of the greatest games in PlayStation history have come from this developer and been exclusive to the PlayStation. And been meaning that this is a studio that's, all right, let's really look at what they're saying. Oh, I love it. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. I love the nuance here. I like going behind the words. Shout out to Malcolm X when he was in prison and was told to go behind the words. We're going to go behind the words. For what it's worth. Let's read it again. Some of the greatest games in PlayStation history have come from this studio developer and been exclusive to the PlayStation. So at least we have that going for us should this information pan out. So let's reverse engineer this. Okay. We know, we now know that it is the company that they're getting, he's been told, doesn't fall under the purview and jurisdiction of the United States. This is according to him. Let me make that clear. Now, I was told that it wasn't a company that the U.S. would control either. So, but I thought, well, what about Remedy and CD Projekt Red? But I don't recall Remedy and CD Projekt Red having games. And I want you to really concentrate on this word here, and been. That I believe means and. So I still think that's what it means. So it says it's been exclusive to the PlayStation, which means this studio is making multi-platform games. So what company can this be? What's your best guess? My best guess is Square Enix. Okay? My best guess is Square Enix. You know, so, well, it's not CD Projekt Red according to his source, because CD Projekt Red has not made games for PlayStation exclusively in the past, have they? So just eliminate those. Eliminate them. Okay? You can eliminate them. So that leaves us with who? Who does that leave you with? Well, it's a company that's out of the U.S. jurisdiction. We know it's not CD Projekt Red and Remedy. You can eliminate them. There are no studios in Europe that I know that made exclusive games for Sony in the past. Now, this is according to him. So I put Square Enix in the title because I think it's Square Enix. Square Enix has, now let me explain why. You can disagree, and that's fine. I think it's Square Enix because Square Enix has made games for PlayStation in the past exclusive. Have they not? They have, haven't they? So also Square Enix, we know, is in a little bit of trouble. Their games aren't doing as well as they thought they would do. Not that I'm not saying whether the games are good or bad, because that is subjective. What's not is the number that they thought. What's up, old Mob Trapster? He said any publisher that was going to try and get Square would be first they go to. Fair enough. I think it's Square, but I could be wrong, and that's fine. Oh, You can get an iPhone 11 for $99.99 at Cricket right there, according to that. So this article could be complete trash, but I like some of the wording of the article. That's why I picked it up. So, and that's why this is just a quick update. Now let's look at some of the prices, because I got that right here too. Ooh. So, and I'm just gonna look at the Japanese studios. Konami would be 7.8 billion. I don't have this up on the screen. You don't have to worry about it. Square Enix is 6.227 billion. Again, 6.27 billion with a B. Sega is 4.1 billion with a B. And Capcom is 5.35 billion with a B. So again, I just think it's Square. That gives you, oh man, who does that give you? That gives you Tomb Raider. That gives you Final Fantasy VII or the Final Fantasy series. People are saying Capcom. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not Capcom. I'm just saying I think it's Square Enix. So, and this is Sony doesn't need, again, it's not according to the article, it is a company out of US jurisdiction that has made games for Sony for years and used to, and I'm really stuck. I'm stuck on this one here. Okay. For what it's worth, some of the greatest games in PlayStation history have come from this studio. I mean, that to me, that you know, so this company has made games for PlayStation Studio, for PlayStation, and it's a part of their history. So at least we have that going for us should this information pan out. So again, I think it's Square Enix. I'm not here to say, you can determine whether it's good or bad with your wallet. You think, if you prefer it be Capcom, fine. If you prefer it be Konami, fine. Sega, totally understandable. But those companies would be, what would be a big landmark deal for Sony? Okay. So, and they're talking about the company joining, right? They're talking about the company joining them. So, oh, why do they always call? Hold on. All right, I'm sorry. I apologize. Law school calling me again. So again, you know, the company says the acquisition of this company also won't fall under U.S. preview. So that takes it out of certain things. Okay. So, and again, it says it will be a big deal for Sony. I like this right here. Again, for what it's worth, some of the greatest games in PlayStation history have come from this developer and been exclusive to the PlayStation. So at least we have that going for us should this information pan out. Again, one game, I can see Capcom as well, because one of the games that was huge and was exclusive to PlayStation was Resident Evil. I mean, that Resident Evil is a system seller. So I totally understand that it could be Capcom. So again, I'm not saying it is. I am just saying I personally believe it's Square Enix. I mean, again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. My paper here does have a company on it, and I'm leaning toward Square Enix. And all this article does is show me that, you know, the source that I have could be correct. Okay, that's it. That's it. This right here is huge for the source. My source said it wasn't a U.S. company. So I can at least, you know, because this article is out and I didn't say this, okay? I'm not saying what's on my paper, but I strongly think, and this is, I'm not looking at my paper, I'm thinking it could be Square Enix. So, and then you have to look at what games that gives you. That now, this has Square Enix made games for PlayStation that's considered some of the best in its ecosystem? The answer is yes. Final Fantasy VII had kids crying when Cloud, what happened with Cloud? People on the bus tearing up, couldn't believe it. Grown men. Well, they were not grown. We were little kids. We were kids. Well, you know, first time you well up. You start wiping that little bitty tear, had a little snot coming out of you, you know. So it is what it is, guys. I mean, you all better. I mean, I can tell you this right now. This is from them, Black Sports Online. So this is a black man putting this out. And he's got 3,000 views. So again, it is what it is. I'm getting excited about it. I got a little chub in my pant right now. There's a little baby chub. So I'm going with Square Enix. The question isn't what I think. The question is, what do you think? So again, according to his source, it's a company. He knows the name of the company. And he's just simply saying, oh, well, you know, it's a company that has made games for Sony in the past. Okay. Okay, I think that's great. I think that's fine. So you think any big acquisition, those games still going to be third party? I don't disagree with that. I've said that multiple times. If they're going to buy a publisher, that publisher, part of the deal is going to more than likely demand that it stays, quote unquote, the same thing Bungie did, that, you know, that it stays, you know, it maintains independence. And people got to understand that Bungie being acquired, just because Destiny is going to stay multi-plat, doesn't mean that all the games Bungie makes will be multi-plat. It just means Destiny will, and it should. All right, Destiny has been on Xbox since 2014, 15. Absolutely no reason to pull it, none. And anybody in the quote PlayStation community that says they ought to pull it is a effing fanboy. Okay, you don't. I mean, you're already making money with Microsoft. Don't piss them off. You can now. The next project Bungie makes is going to be exclusive to PlayStation. Okay, talking about big project, not update, not, you know. Maybe they get some maps on Destiny that Xbox doesn't get. All right, and that could happen as well if you play that game online. So they can simply say JP Locals. Now let's do the comparison, because you all are smarter than me, right? And you should be. I pride myself on you all being smarter than I am. Shout out to BGS. He's one of the smartest, like Kevin Samuel said, he's one of the smartest men that I've had the absolute honor and pleasure to get to know and pick his brain a little bit, and actually came onto my podcast. So I need to have Art on as well, because Art's game playing. Yeah, he's on some. We got to get Art to play some Mass Effect, you know, because you know, I think Art is kind of suffering from playing trash games, but that's just my opinion. Let's look at the games, look at the history. Now, we can look at Capcom, and the first game that's, for me, because I remember having a PS2 and going over to my friend Mark's house, playing Resident Evil, maybe it was PS1, and playing Resident Evil, the very first Resident Evil, okay? And matter of fact, it's retro to the point where you can actually get the what they wore and play it in the remake of Resident Evil 2. You know, because I'm playing with the girl. I was playing up to the point where that dude started chasing me, and I was like, I don't like being chased, and I can't give me something to put this thing down. So another one could be from, but Kodakaiwa, but has From Software, Jeff B. Gaming. Look at the fact that the guy in the article said it is a company that has made exclusives for them a while ago. Okay? I'm just saying that to me should be the tip on where you start looking. That is a clue. But you could be right. I mean, you could be right, but for the sake of that article, I don't think From Software has made a lot of games for Sony in the past that were exclusive, okay? I mean, I could be wrong, though, like I said. So, if Sony wants to buy developers and talent, that's why Konami is out of the question. Well, but Konami made games for Sony back in the day exclusive. That's what I'm looking at there. That to me is a huge tip. All right, that's a huge tip. So Metal Gear games or Konami, very good point there, Sly Jones. See, that's why I'm saying, look, to me, the biggest thing is them saying it is a company that has made games in the past. Exclusively, remember, exclusively for them. So, and it doesn't, number one, it doesn't fall under US preview. So what company could that be? Number two, it's a company out of US preview that has made games for Sony exclusively in the past. And the way that is worded is that they're making multi-plat games right now. So again, that's what I'm looking at. Why are you doing Ice Queen? Square is making Forspoken for PlayStation. That's true too. Ice Queen said maybe it's Square. I personally think it's Square Enix. Okay, I do feel I have a slight poke in my pants, and when I say Square, my poke gets a little bit bigger. You can make a strong case for Capcom. So, what Capcom games did they make in the past that was only on PlayStation? Let's just say 1 and 2. For me, that is Resident Evil. I mean, what game am I missing? Please, I mean, any of them. Were the Mega Man games? Who makes the Castlevania games? Who makes Castlevania? Was that Capcom? So, you're feeling better? Oh, you're off antidepressant. I tell you what, Don, that's great news. I'm glad you're doing better. Are you gonna go back? Are you going back to that concert again? Said they were going to perform. Are they performing this year as well? Konami makes Castlevania. Okay, so that is Metal Gear and Castlevania. And remember, wasn't there a hint over a year ago about Castlevania? You see what I'm saying? So don't throw them out. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm asking you to use, well, I mean, most of us are guys here. We do have some women though. I mean, let me tell you, I saw my analytics. 3% of people that listen to me are women. So shout out to the 3% ladies. Street Fighter is Capcom, even though, all right, that was exclusive. Okay. All righty. Devil May Cry and Onimusha were exclusives. Yeah, now who makes them though? That Capcom? I mean, I think that's fair to look. If you say it's Capcom, as long as you're making a logical, you can make a logical argument for Konami, Capcom, Square Enix. And guess what? It may be somebody else. It could be Sega for all we know, right? So, but we'll have to wait and see. So we have Castlevania. We had that crazy Clue years ago. We got a lot of people saying that there is a major title from PlayStation's past that's coming back. We've heard that. All right, so let's look at it logically. Let's take the fanboy emotions out of it. Look at it logically. Sony could buy 2 publishers. Yes, in theory, they have enough money. I got them with about $9.8 billion. But the people got to understand, they can always go get more money. That's what they can. Again, but let me make this clear. Companies do not like for you to go over the budget they give you, and everybody understands that. But if you can make a case to the shareholders, right? Hey, look, let's do this, and we get that. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Shout out to old Mob. He says it's Square. Now he's going with Square as well, because he's saying, remember, it was reported Sony tried to lock down Final Fantasy games as exclusives for the rest of the generation. Okay, that was reported, but it wasn't sourced out well, but I don't disagree. So you think it's Square. Okay, fair enough. I'm not here to say I think it's Square as well. And that's why I put that in the thumbnail. I could change that I'm off Thursday. I can make a case for Capcom as well, because I'm looking at people saying Capcom, and that's strong too. That is strong too. So, and I said Resident Evil is the first game that comes to mind for me with Capcom. Are there any other Capcom games that they used to make exclusively for PlayStation? That's all I'm asking. So I mentioned it. Square made a crop load of game exclusive to PS1 and PS2. Yeah, that's why I'm going with Square Enix. Okay, now it could wake up tomorrow, it'd be somebody else. So I know a lot of people want it to be From Software, but I don't recall personally, and somebody can correct me. I don't care. That's perfectly fine. That's why you all are here. You all, From Software, as far as I'm concerned, hasn't made games exclusively for Sony not from way back. I know Bloodborne was, and you all love Bloodborne. I don't know why, but again, you all like Venom, and I don't know why. So, but it is what it is. Square said a year ago they weren't interested in selling, but things could have changed. Yeah, and I think things changed because of the Avengers being an absolute, the game being a catastrophe. And then it was so bad, the stench of it got on Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a good game. And that's also in Game Pass. So, but I do not understand why Microsoft would go out. I can't imagine working for a Microsoft first party studio and then wake up and see that Microsoft has given $7 million to a third party, and that's money I could have used on something I was making for them. I would be furious. I would be, the term is madder than a hornet. So that's me. Shout out to the people who say madder than a wet hen. I've never seen a wet hen, so I guess they get mad. So let's see here. You think Square, now a lot of people are saying Bloodborne is a very good game. Well, again, I'm not saying it's not a good game. I never said that. I said that I didn't care for it, but there's a lot of people who love it. And I'm like, I don't know why you all like this. But okay, I'm not knocking it. I ain't gonna knock what you like. If you like it, I love it. But damn, you know. You need Bloodborne 2. So that means that whatever you did in Bloodborne 1 did not work. It's like Dying Light Part 2. I'm like, well, for some reason, the light is still dying and you all didn't do your job in Part 1. So I think it's Square Enix. I'm not here trying to beat my chest. I'm just giving you my logical reason on why I think it's Square Enix. But you all in the chat have made a strong case for Konami. You have. And you've made a strong case. You Capcom guys, what are the Capcom games? With Square Enix, I can say Kingdom Hearts used to be exclusive to PlayStation. Final Fantasy used to be exclusive to PlayStation. Okay, I mean, so that right there alone. But Capcom, if you come back to me and say, well, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry. Hold on, did Capcom make Devil May Cry? Or is that Square? Who made Devil May Cry? I saw somebody put it in there. I couldn't read it. It was going too fast. JP Loco says Final Fantasy games, Kingdom Hearts, and Tomb Raider games. Okay, that's what I'm looking for now. What about Capcom? Who's Crystal Dynamics, who's working on Perfect Dark? That's fine. That is fine. See, you all got to understand, Sony isn't going to come in there and break the deal like Microsoft did with Starfield. Although they would have every right to. They could say, we're doing this because of what you all did with Starfield. They would be in their right to do that. So, you think Blue Point could do a remake of Bloodborne? Do you all not think Blue Point deserves to make their own game at this point? So, a game called, I remember that game. I do remember that game. Yeah, I remember that. It was in the same boat until you played Bloodborne. Well, again, I'm not knocking it. I just think that I don't know why people love it so much. So, but again, if you like it, I love it for you. I'm not gonna knock it. Shout out to everybody that Capcom has Street Fighter V, Resident Evil were exclusive. Yeah, they were. No, I mean, you're right. That's what I'm saying. What about Arc Systems? Arc Systems is not on the top 10 list of Japanese developers. Here's your top 10 list. I don't have that up. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can pull that list. drop this article. Hard to do this. Now, this is according to Metacritic. So number 10 is TECHMO. That's number 10. Number 9 is BANDI NAMCO. See, you all haven't mentioned that. Bandai is Bandai or BANDI. Number 8 is Atlas. Number 7 is Sega. Number 6 is From Software. Number 5 is this Sony Studios we already own. Number 4 is Capcom. Number 3 is Square Enix. This is according to Metacritic score. Number 2 is Nintendo. Well, we know that's out. And then there's something called Carosoft. Again, it looks like it makes, it's got something called Pocket Arcade Story. Looks like straight garbage. Garbage. All right, so again, remember we're looking at studios that have made exclusive games for Sony a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So Atlas made what? Persona? But Atlas is a subsidiary of Sega. That's what it says here. Now, maybe this changed. This can change. They do make, is it this Gary? So I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just gotta, let me make this clear. I'm not arguing that anybody's wrong here, but the people who talked up said Konami made a legitimate case. The people who said, well, I think it's Square Enix. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not asking for no flowers. We're just kind of having a conversation about it. So Onimusha, okay, that was, I do remember that. Parasite Eve, very good one. That was Square Enix, though. I think, very good. I mean, you all are, Bandai Namco is an American company, though. Well, not according to the Metacritic list that I just pulled, but it could be. I mean, you want a I would love a Parasite Eve remake, Kevin. I would love it. How about it in VR? Give me Parasite Eve remake in VR. I would love it. But is it made by Square Enix or did Capcom make that? I can't remember. And that was one of my favorite games that back in the day that I played on PlayStation. So the Bandai had tweets about Sony as well. They did. What are those tweets exactly? So here, Bandai Namco makes sense if they're thinking about anime too. Yeah, that's true too. That's a very good point as well. Anime in Japan is gigantic. It's huge. Konami gets bought by Sony. The game could be exclusive. Well, again, we're talking about games that a company that made games for Sony back in the day, okay, that don't do it right now. Hit that like button, people. I got 60 people in here. I got 24 likes. Y'all don't want me to start singing Fleetwood Mac. I will start singing some Fleetwood Mac. I watched the Grammys yesterday. I'll try to sing, but I won't sing Fleetwood Mac. I'll try to sing something called Doja Cat. What the heck is that? Okay. So let's see here. You will leave a list of games made by Square, Capcom, Sega. All right. Appreciate that, JP Loco. I'm going to put in that work. I appreciate it. So again, I'm not saying, let me make this clear. I'm not saying that you're wrong about any of that. You guys are wrong about any of it. I believe it's Square. Wink, wink, nod, nod. I may have seen that somewhere in my place. So, but what this does for me personally is, remember, we were talking about the big, I was like, I can't really say it, but the mere fact that this brother has put this out, that it's beyond the preview of the United States. So that means that, and we know Sony wants to make a splash in Japan, and it's not going to be a big deal. Was Dino Crisis exclusive? Yes, it was. I believe that was made by Capcom. I believe that was made by Capcom. Somebody can, if I'm wrong, just let me know. I will stand corrected. No problem. No problem. I have no problem standing corrected. So, The Dino Crisis, yeah, Dino Crisis 1 is still one of the better video games I played. Dino Crisis 2 was a disappointment. For me personally, it was a disappointment. So, but I do believe it was Frank B1. I do believe it. So, but yeah, so, but y'all are making a good case. You all definitely know your gaming history here. We don't have to pull it up. Yeah, Dino Crisis. Let me just look at it. Capcom game. So, but look at that game that's coming out. Pragmatica or whatever it's called. That game looks crazy. But Sega is worth 4.1 billion. Capcom 5.35 billion. Let's just call that 5.4 because Sony is gonna have to pay a little bit more. Square Enix being worth 6.227 billion, they could probably get that for about 5.8 billion right now because of the hit they've taken. But with Konami, you're looking at 7.08 billion. So you're looking at, let's just call that 7. Let's round that up to 7.10. Okay. Wow. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of chicken wings, as I would like to say. A whole lot of wings I could have. Yeah, Pragmata. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That game looks nuts. Is FS6 going to be exclusive? I mean, I'm telling you, if they're going to buy Konami, it would be. It would be. You think Dino Crisis 1 and 2 were bad? I thought Dino Crisis 2 was a letdown. So I'm feeling Square Enix because that gives you Parasite Eve. That gives you these are games that were on PlayStation that I remember. Parasite Eve, Final Fantasy, which Final Fantasy 7 still hasn't gone to Xbox yet. Yeah, okay. We know that Forspoken is going to be exclusive for 2 years on PlayStation. Let's talk about what we do know. No Final Fantasy on Xbox. Exclusivity of the Square Enix game Forspoken for 2 years. Is it 1 year or 2 years? What else? So you have a history going back to PlayStation 1 and 2. Square Enix is a Japanese company, so it's out of the preview of the United States if they were to join. So again, that's why I'm feeling Square. That's why I put out today, if you follow me on Twitter, it's hip to be square. That's what I was talking about. So I think it's going to be Square, but I could wake up and it be Sega for all I know, right? But it's going to be a something that's big for Sony. So horrible take because they made Yakuza exclusive to PlayStation for a year. Again, we're talking about a company. Remember what the gentleman said. It's a company that made games for PlayStation, some of the best games on PlayStation in the past. So that is the truth. Project Eve coming soon. Project Eve. Okay, that's good. How does that sound familiar? You want a brutal cartel game from Sony, then why don't you make it? That's the way we gotta remember. That's the way we gotta work, right? No, you want a cartel game? I mean, isn't the Yakuza series a cartel game? Isn't the Yakuza a cartel? I'm just, but if you're talking about what? You're talking about like a Mexican cartel game? That's fine. I'm asking for clarification. I would think Yakuza would feel your need on that. So, future Final Fantasy games being exclusive to PlayStation is just a rumor. Well, again, I'm not saying that. Remember, we're not talking about the future. We're talking about the past. Remember, we're reverse engineering the statement that the gentleman said. So, and again, for all this, let me check Twitter because this could have already been shot down by now. Because this article is about 10 hours old. Let's see if I can find it anymore. No, it's still up. See, the article is still up. But a lot of people think it's from software. I mean, they're really, somebody said WB, so it's not going to be WB. Sounds like Ubisoft is the candidate. It is the second. That is true, but did Ubisoft make games exclusively for PlayStation in the past? I'm not saying that they did. That they didn't. I just don't know of any. Somebody else has Square, Capcom. I'm in the Square camp. So so let's see here. But the article is still up. That's my point here. Now, do you all want me to put it back up? No, hold on. Here, I can put the article back up if you want me to. So, but again, that's just if you want me to. Kind of winding it down here. Kind of winding it down. I said they're still releasing Final Fantasy Dragon Quest on PC. Well, remember, Sony is putting games on PC. I think they'll still release Dungeon Quest on Nintendo. That's too much. Maybe CD Projekt Red. Well, I said that, Spartan ENT, but you got to remember that it's a company that has made games for Sony a while ago, according to the article. So if the article is correct, then CD Projekt Red would not make sense. If the article is correct, right? I think Bluepoint could feel the From Software games void and need to buy them. Again, it did From Software. I mean, I know people are obsessed with them. Okay. Did From Software make games in the past for Sony? That's my question for you all. I'm not here to say they didn't. I'm talking about in the past. Not, and don't say Bloodborne's in the past. You will be right, but I'm talking about the past. I'm about PS1, PS2. So, maybe these old forgotten Konami IPs. So maybe it is, Sam. Maybe it is. That's why the people who were talking about Konami in the chat made a legitimate case on Konami. Metal Gear is a game that came out, but wasn't Metal Gear on the Nintendo system as well? I mean, I'm just asking. It could be Atlas, okay? It could be. But again, I'm not saying you're wrong. Let me make this 100% clear. Get the likes up, people. Y'all are lazy. Shout out to the Hulk for the super chat. He did not have to do that. I appreciate you, brother. That will go to the GPU I'm trying to get. But I'm asking you all to donate a like. It's free. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Donate a like. I mean, we have BGS up over here. I mean, donate a like to the brother, man. That's all I'm asking. Shout out to BGS. Something like Sicario. Again, but doesn't Yakuza fit that bill? I mean, again, you can suggest that to Sony. I mean, you can pitch that. To say, look, I have no idea. You're just a gamer, but would you all consider making a game like Sicario? But you got to remember, Sicario means hitman, and I believe Sicario translates loosely to hitman. So if that's true, there's already a video game called Hitman. Have I talked about the Halo frustration? Well, yeah, just very quickly. There's a lot of frustrated Halo gamers. And yeah, I did that a little bit earlier. Halo. It was from Eurogamer. Eurogamer. So which is AKA, that's Zaddy, right? Isn't that from Zaddy? Pull that up. This article just came out. It was a Eurogamer article on. Check here. me go to my own sources. I'll pull it up. There it is. It's from Victoria Kennedy. Let's see if I can put this on the screen for you good peoples. Here it is. So this is oh wow, this is today by Victoria Kennedy, Miss Kennedy. Says 343 Industries has acknowledged the frustrations. I mean, yeah, I don't play it because I'm like, man, y'all got to do something. I tell you what, it's so bad for me. I didn't even make it to the ring, the Halo ring. I was still stuck in the spaceship. So, since Halo Infinite team is certainly not happy to be unable to meet player and community expectations. This is why I said earlier the game's a failure. He also admitted it's a difficult situation. It's going to take them time to work through. Oh my God, how do you spend $500 million and have this problem? All right. So says right now the focus is on season 2, and we'll have more to share on that in the coming weeks. Okay, so they're pushing us off of this. Oh, if you don't know, the person won a costume award for Cruella. Shout out to that person. So a blog post on Halo Waypoint has additionally been published detailing Halo Infinite Season's 1 outcome report. It says season 2 is coming out next in a couple weeks. So yeah, accessibility continues to be an area we want to focus and improve in, and we believe that feedback from the gaming and disability community is at the forefront of that, the post states. So again, better colorblind settings, better audio visualization, which on PC, the audio for me, because I have a 7.1 audio output on for my system. I got no issues with the sound, but maybe there's some people struggling with it. So, but people, they are frustrated with it. Again, I think the game's a failure, but that doesn't mean the game is bad. It just means it didn't hit the expectations that they thought. And now the game is not in jeopardy. They're not going to cancel the game, but it's disappointing. Disappointing game for them to come back like that. So, Will? You didn't miss anything. That Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and one PSVR game. I feel that Sony don't like deadweight studios. Well, I mean, again, I don't think they like that either. Isn't that why they fold studios? They don't need to buy Konami, but just Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and Castlevania. Well, to me, what I liked is that it's a studio that's made games for them in the past, so exclusively for them. So that's why you got to put Konami on the list, because I believe they fit that bill. Okay, that's all. I believe they fit that bill. And it could be Konami. It could be Sega. All right, I'm just saying it. I'm not here to. We're just putting out there that what is the new information? The new information that this guy had is that it is information from that it is not the studio is going to fall out of US preview or preview. So that's big, man. That's a big one, and the fact that they made exclusive games in the past, that's big news. So I don't know what else to say about it. I just think what you can start doing is whittling it down. I believe it's Square Enix, but the people in the chat have made a legitimate case for Capcom and Konami. It's legit. It's not like they're just throwing it up against the wall. They're like, well, Capcom has this. Konami has this. Yeah, and guess what? You're 100% correct. So you definitely got to look at that as well. But guys, that is really all I had for you. I literally, this is my second day out of 2 to be off. And I wanted to touch base with you all so I need to get back to Mass Effect on Game Pass. So I will talk to you all later. You don't think Sony has anything to gain from Konami? Okay, just it's not a okay, but there's still a company you have, and you want to say at the, like on the first line you got Square Enix, on the second line you got Capcom, and on the third line you got Konami, and on the fourth line you got Sega. That's fine. That is fine. Um, From Software has made over 30 exclusives for PlayStation. Oh, did not know that. Okay. 30? Alrighty. So let's look at that real fast. Um, Looking at their Wikipedia. Field 1, 2, and 3, Armored Core, Echo Knight. Yeah, Armored Core 3, Lost Kingdom was on GameCube. Evergrace, Armored Core 2, The Adventures of Cookie and Cream. Oh my god. So, all right, so you're gonna, all right, well, we'll definitely have to put them in there then, because these are dating all the way back to 1994. So we'll put From Software in there too now. So uh, but and they are now making multi-plat games. 100% correct. They made Enchanted Arms. Trying to see something that people may have heard. Monster Hunter Diary, Demon Souls, that was PS3. They made Ninja Blade for the Xbox. They made Dark Souls. They made Demon Souls and Dark Souls? No, it says in North America by Atlas. It was published in Japan by Sony, and in North America by Atlas. It was made, it does say that. Yeah, developed by From Software. Okay, well, damn. Wouldn't that be something else if Sony did get them? They would just say, we're the place to play these soul games. Sekiro, yeah. Yeah. Oh, they made Sekiro for Stadia. All those T-flops over there on the Stadia. All right, but it has a parent company, and I just think that's the issue here. So they would have to, Kodakawa, I'm saying that correct. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Would have to sell that part of their company. So, and they already have a capital investment. So, but again, no, I'm not going to say it's wrong. I mean, it's legit. You make a legitimate point. So, on it being that they've made those games. So, but yeah, they got a game called Cookies and Cream. So, Sega has Atlas for Persona games. Yeah, they do. That's why I said you got to put Sega in there as well. So now you can put them in different tiers. So, let's see, Capcom over Square. JP Logan says because Capcom makes fighting games perfect for Evo, and Sony really needs it. I don't disagree with that at all. That's a very good point. So again, like I said before, the people who are saying Capcom is they making a legitimate point. Capcom, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil, was it Nemesis? Resident Evil 4. I was in the Xbox ecosystem. I remember Resident Evil it was called Resident Evil Code Veronica. But people keep telling me that was just like a remake of another Resident Evil. But again, I'm not denying that. But yes, Capcom is definitely up there. You can make, like I said, on Thursday, I may put the Capcom logo on the thumbnail. I'm leaning towards From Software personally. But I mean, I'm not going to go any further than that. So, but yeah. But again, that guy put that up there. I just wanted to drop that. That was just an update on it because that does match some other stuff. I'm not going to keep spilling on it because I'm trying to stay away from the whole rumor thing and the big acquisition. But that is a good update. The only reason is because this is an article from a legitimate group that actually does make some legitimate sense. So I wanted to just update that. But that's what seems like everybody came here to see. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Different strokes for different folks. But guys, I do need to get on up out of here. It's 11 o'clock. I am getting hungry. I agree. From Software, Sony messed up. Should have bought them and Quantic Dream. I don't disagree with it. So, and it could be Quantic Dream as well. But I'm going to bounce. I do appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who was here. Hit that like button. Go ahead and play the games, people. Have a good rest of the day. Peace out.